Legends CA is the new big thing for Pokemon, and everybody is wondering what the starters for the game will be and if they get regional evolutions. I started drawing my interpretations in March 2024 when I was in Romania, but I wanted to wait until we are closer to the game release to show them to you. Unfortunately, it seems like there has been a leak surrounding these starters, so be very careful when going to social medias because you may see spoilers. I decided to release my starters early because I didn't want it to seem like I used the leaks for this and because I want proof in case I predicted any of the starters and their evolutions. Let's start with the grass starter. I personally think Snivy is the most fitting grass starter for Legends CA, and following the trend of Legends Arceus, I will give its final evolution a new typing. But why Snivy? So, Legends CA takes place in Lumio City, which is based on the capital city of France, Paris. And what is France known for? Well, let's see. Baguettes, a language that just likes to throw in random letters into their words and not pronounce them. Fashion, knowing how to actually make an efficient strike at work. The animation industry, the Eiffel Tower, and the French Evolution. Well, okay, there are a lot more things, of course, but that's what I came up with out of my head. I figured we need a starter Pokemon representing royalty and, well, their demise. The guillotine was a very prominent execution method for beheading, for example, royals like King Louis XVI or Marie Antoinette. I wanted Snivy to represent that theme, and I know that is very macabre, especially since Snivy is my favorite starter, but hear me out. It will be a ghost type, and most ghost types have dark lore, and I mean, look at Snivy, you can't tell me that it doesn't give off like spoiled prince or princess vibes. I decided to make the head purple and transparent looking, so basically the head was replaced by a ghost version of it, and I gave it a fancy swirly royal looking collar, which is supposed to resemble fancy clothings, but they also look like streams of blood coming out of its neck because, you know, it got guillotined. And there are some more blood patterns across the body. It still looks very smug and like, see, I told you can't get rid of me. And I even finally got a second typing out of it. But while Superior usually has the face of a more cold arrogance, I wanted the CA Superior to be more like the teasing, arrogant side. Here it is, CA Superior. How do you think it turned out? Snivy is one of my favorite Pokemon ever, since it was my first starter Pokemon, and I'm glad I could do something for its evolution. Next, the water starter. I chose Piplop's line. I thought it would just make the most sense because, of course, it's a penguin. No, I'm just kidding. But Empoleon is basically a ruler, like an emperor. It looks like a military kind of emperor, so what did I choose as inspiration? Of course, Napoleon. In particular, this famous painting by Jacques-Louis David, I don't know if that was pronounced right. I'm always skipping the talking lessons on Duolingo. Whoops. Anyways, Napoleon in this painting is wearing a special hat, a red flowing hood, and blue and gold clothing, so I referenced that. This Empoleon has long red flowing feathers and a hairstyle to resemble the head from the painting. And I know it looks like it's wearing clothes, but these are of course just patterns. CA Empoleon is a very strategic Pokemon that never goes into a battle without maximum preparation. Fun fact, I kinda mess up the proportions on accident and now it looks a little smaller and more juvenile compared to its original form, which fits the common belief that Napoleon was small, and I don't even think that's true. It's probably over-exaggerated, but I mean, you know, it's a Pokemon, so whatever. Here it is, the little CA Empoleon. The design is less complicated than the original one, I am aware of that, but something like this would be fitting in my opinion. It's only a concept art. And lastly, the fire starter. There was only one Pokemon I could choose, which is Torchic, and the reason is very simple. The Gallic Rooster is the national animal of France. Perfect match. As a secondary typing, I wanted something fight related, and I found the sport Savate, which is a fighting style comprised of fist punches and kicks. Blaziken is made for this. With its long legs it can perfectly kick, and I made its hands a little more bulky, looking like boxing gloves. When thinking about roosters and fighting, the very obvious rooster fights came into my mind. An incredibly cruel sport where roosters have to fight each other. They often get metal blades attached to their legs to further hurt the opponent, and fortunately rooster fights are forbidden in almost all of France, but there is apparently still one region and a few overseas regions where it is allowed. Also, the fighting style was used by Marines in France, so yeah. Here it is, CA Blaziken. It took me the longest to render, mainly because I don't like rendering humanoid ones, but I'm finally done. And here they are side by side. Superior representing French nobility and the kings and queens who ruled over the country. Napoleon representing the military leaders who ruled over the soldiers. And lastly Blaziken representing the national animal, the Gallic rooster, and the fighting style connected to Marines. They don't really rule over anything, but they battle out everything that they get thrown into. I don't actually think that's the direction the starters will go. They don't seem to be fitting in the vibe we saw in the trailer, but this was just what I came up with. Let me know your opinions in the comments. No spoilers if you saw any leaks online, please. Yeah.